Let's head back to the voicemail of Truth and Reason.
Hi, this is Rico. After watching the game again, I did not like our run defense. Now, I know that the Ravens are probably the best rushing team in the NFL, but our defense was getting gashed. Dobbins was averaging 9 yards a carry, and Gus Edwards was averaging 7 yards a carry. That's just not going to get it done. But I will say that the most important thing is the scoreboard. A team can run up and down the field all they want, but if they don't punch it in, then it really doesn't matter. So I will give credit to the defense that they held them out the end zone and basically off the scoreboard. Also, Tucker missing a field goal and getting one block really did help. As far as the offense goes, you can see little by little Watson is getting much more comfortable. He was in full control of the huddle and on the sidelines. I watched him getting in teammates' faces and correcting them on the things that they were doing wrong. Overall, I'll give the team a B- for their performance. Go Browns.
As always, appreciate all the voicemails. G-Bush, so how did they end up playing so poorly against the run and yet only holding them to 3? Take a look at this. Browns defense, 3 turnovers on downs. So they held on 4th down 3 times. A blocked field goal, an interception, a forced fumble. It all led to 0 touchdowns allowed. So they were coming up with those big plays that have been lacking. Those 4th down stops, the turnovers, all lacking really for the first part of the season.
Yeah, it was some of the old Marty Schottenheimer, bend but don't break. If you can get off the field on money downs, and those are your 3rd downs and 4th downs, you can give up some yards. You can give up some yards here or there. And if you don't, and if the other team doesn't capitalize on field goals, 2 missed field goals from them. They weren't able to get on the scoreboard, weren't able to, get those points up there. So when you're playing in a close game, bad weather game, you can give up some yards if you're not giving up 7. And that works in principle, but what you got to think about, though, in principle that works. But guess what? That's not something that you can hang your hat on all the time, because good teams with their starting quarterbacks. So if Lamar Jackson's playing in that game, you got a different story, because now they convert some of those. Now the plays where Hundley might have been a little off kilter, hasn't been able to throw the football and move the chains. Now Lamar Jackson can do that with his legs or his arm. So, give them credit. The Browns did a really good job of figuring out what the Ravens wanted to do. They couldn't stop the run, but that's on the Ravens to continue to punch the ball in and to score. There's been a lot of games where we look back at it and they said, well, the Browns really controlled that game, and you look up and the score's different. Why? Because we weren't able to score touchdowns. We weren't able to, and when you get down in the red zone, we weren't able, to get those points on the board, or we went for it on 4th down and we didn't make it. So if you look at a lot of that stuff, it's just not the Browns that affects. It affects every team in the NFL, and that's why we were able to come out with a 13-3 win. But against good teams, it doesn't happen that way.